cash at the Federal Reserve.
Good morning, Bitcoin. Today is Friday, February 12th, 2021. My name is Thomas Hunt, and here's what's happening today in Bitcoin. JayZ and Jack Dorsey are giving 500 Bitcoin to a new endowment named B Trust to fund Bitcoin development, initially focused on teams in Africa and India. Jack will be setting it up as a blind, irrevocable trust, taking zero direction from himself and JayZ. They need just 3 board members to start. Standing by. But first, the price of Bitcoin was down 2.73% in the last 24 hours, with a last of 46,767, a high of 48,945. That's an all-time high. And a low of 45,851. That's $1 for 2,138 Satoshis. Volume was pretty high for a Friday, with 12,203 Bitcoins changing hands. The market continues to lean long, with 94% of the market heading that direction. Bitcoin dominance was down slightly at 59%. Jack Dorsey and JayZ invest $23.6 million to fund Bitcoin development. Twitter and Square CEO Jack Dorsey and rapper JayZ have created an endowment to fund Bitcoin development initially in Africa and India. The duo is putting up 500 Bitcoin, which is currently worth $23.6 million, into the endowment called B Trust. The fund will be set up as a blind, irrevocable trust, Dorsey said, adding that the duo of Jack Dorsey and JayZ, no albums planned yet, won't be giving any direction to the team. Exciting stuff for Bitcoin development. Feeling the heat from employees, Wall Street banks get closer to adopting Bitcoin. The banking industry is being forced to contend with Bitcoin as its latest dizzying ascent and increased adoption among investors, corporations, and fintech competitors spark fears of being left behind. JP Morgan co-president Daniel Pinto, a car I wouldn't buy, told CNBC in exclusive remarks what it will take for the bank to embrace Bitcoin. The demand isn't there yet, but I'm sure it will be at some point. Just last week, Goldman Sachs hosted a private forum with Mike Novogratz, CEO and founder of the crypto firm Galaxy Digital, for employees and clients. Miami votes to study using Bitcoin for employee salaries and payments to City Hall. Miami City Hall could begin conducting some of its financial transactions in Bitcoin. City commissioners voted late Thursday night at the request of Mayor Francis Suarez to study the use of cryptocurrency and look for a vendor to help with transactions. Should the commission approve a contract down the road, employees would have an option to receive all or part of their salaries in Bitcoin, and the public would have a Bitcoin option while paying for city services. I hate these articles. They do these every 4 years because they're jerks. Bitcoin hits another record. Here's how much you would have if you invested in 2019. Here's how much you'd have if you invested $100 in 2009. Once again, they only do these articles at the top to make you feel bad. When Bitcoin was at $3,000, they took the ticker off of CNBC. They stopped talking about it, even though that was the time to buy. Now that it's crazy high and maybe not a good time to buy, although everyone that bought the all-time high has always been fine in the past, now they write this article. They just do it to make you feel bad. They're not actually advising you of anything. This is the most worthless kind of article, and they write it every 4 years on schedule like a clock. Here's how much you would have had. But again, In 2009, they were telling you that this was rat poison, a Ponzi scheme. It was tulips. It was worthless like the Dutch tulips, over and over and over again, because they don't want you to be rich. They want you to do the opposite. Video games are taking over Hollywood. In the past 24 hours, several A-list stars have signed on to play some of the most high-profile adaptations of major video games in the coming years. Here's everything you might have missed. And I just think it's an amazing thing to have lived so long, to see video games go from Atari and little dots on the screen to pixels and graphics and video and interactive stories, where the video games became the movies. And now the movies are becoming the video games. Just a little bit. Pedro Pascal will play Joel in an adaptation of The Last of Us. Bella Ramsey from Lyanna Mormont from Game of Thrones will play Ellie in The Last of Us. Craig Mazin, creator of Chernobyl, will be writing the show. Kate Blanchett will be playing Lilith in Borderlands. Kevin Hart will be playing Roland in Borderlands. Jamie Lee Curtis is playing a psychologist, or an archaeologist, in Borderlands. Jack Black will be playing Claptrap, a sarcastic robot that isn't at all interested in the survival of his teammates, from Borderlands, which just sounds perfect. Oscar Isaac from Star Wars is going to be playing Solid Snake in an adaptation of Metal Gear Solid. And of course, another Mortal Kombat adaptation is coming in April. Exciting stuff if you like video games and movies becoming video games. Here's a quick definition of the word shilling, in case you didn't know. Shilling, not the coin, is defined as the act of using propaganda to promote something for a financial incentive. Shilling is a negative word, often used when a person promotes something so they can earn money. Here are 3 potential reasons a person may shill a crypto. A shiller may be an influencer and was probably paid to promote the crypto. And the example, remember a few days ago when Lindsay Lohan tweeted about Bitcoin and it seemed like we'd hit the top? Well, now she's back again and she's tweeting about DeFi and Tron, almost as if she'd been paid. Yes, almost as if she'd been paid. Maybe she's just shilling. Andrew Yang, Twitter. As mayor of New York City, the world's financial capital, I would invest in making the city a hub for Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies. All right. Mike in Space. Remember when crypto wasn't all celebrity degens? Maybe I'm just nostalgic for an era that we'll never see again. Now it's all Hollywood. And Norm Macdonald, famous comedian, I read his book, tweeted, "It was a good day on the crypto market all around. I decided to add some pickle, which I'm going to farm. Wish me luck." And apparently pickle is a real thing. I thought it was a joke. Data Veteran on Twitter. Former Bitcoin developer Mike Hearn rage quit Bitcoin in a blog post on January 14th, 2016, claiming he sold all of his Bitcoin and told everyone it was a failed experiment. Back then, the Bitcoin price was around $430 a coin. That failed experiment has since increased 100 times in value. It just gets funnier. And remember when Donald Trump was sick with the coronavirus and it just seemed like he was fine a few days later and he'd had a weak case and the virus was nothing to worry about, even though they took him to the hospital in a helicopter? Well, it turned out the president, his doctors, his people, they were all lying to you. His blood oxygen levels had plunged. Officials feared he was on the verge of being placed on a ventilator. So once again, COVID-19, the coronavirus, is a serious thing, even though the president of the United States was hiding that from you, maybe because he wants you to die. I don't know why he'd hide that from you. Maybe he just wants you to die. And check out our new laptop fundraiser, which sometimes loads right and other times doesn't. We're 85% of the way to our goal. Thanks so much to our 69 contributors. All right. You can donate now with the on chain Bitcoin QR code on your screen or with the Lightning Network at Tallycoin in the link down below. Here's a quick demonstration of how the Lightning Network works. It's slightly different than Bitcoin for consumers. You have to create an invoice that tells your wallet how much money to send before you send the money. Right here, I'm creating an invoice for $2. I click the $2 button. Then I click the Lightning button. Tallycoin generates the invoice, which is really just a more complicated QR code with more information in it. Meanwhile, I'll pull up my wallet of Satoshi, which says cannot connect to the internet. That's a good sign. Well, we'll see how that turns out later. But yes, if Tallycoin wanted to create the QR code, I could scan it and we'd have no problem sending $2 to the fundraiser. But it looks like we're not even on the internet anymore, which is exciting. How can I still be broadcasting? I just don't know. Thanks so much for joining us. Be sure to give us a thumbs up and a share down below. We'll be back later today with the Bitcoin Group, a roundtable discussion of all the exciting topics that we had today and this week. It's been an incredible week. MasterCard, Jack Dorsey, Uber saying no, Tesla saying yes, Kenya's central bank saying yes, and now JayZ and Jack Dorsey together at last with a Bitcoin development fund. Everything is happening. Thanks so much for joining us. Until next time, bye bye.